I'm going to show you guys how to do the gun composite. This is pretty simple. You're just going to basically be laying pre-created explosion and smoke packets on top of these things that we have um, in our Action Essentials package. This is pretty simple. We have these clips already to go for you. So you're just going to have to right-click on this file here and go replace with After Effects composition. Now you're going to either include this in your composition that you're on your project you were working on before, or for this demo I'm just putting it in a new After Effects project. When you guys do the assignment, you want to put everything into the same project file, into the same After Effects project file. I'm just doing a separate one here. I'm going to go to the drive that I'm saving things on, go to my gunshot here, and I'm going to save it in here. Gunshot project. I'm going to save two effects on the same project. For your guys' assignment, as will be mentioned in class, you guys will save all your effects to one After Effects project file for the entire assignment. Anyway, for this, I'm going to find some clips here. I've got some clips on. I've got some clips inside this gunshot folder here. Two of them that you're going to be using this is the gun going off. There's a muzzle flash straight. I like the number 3. You can use whatever one you want. In fact, if you want to go to the Action Essentials package, you can find, I can post those on the server, and you guys can have access to those. You can choose whatever one you want. And a little smoke wisp for after he shoots the gun. I'm going to drag that one in as well. So two clips for this one shot here. These are pre-treated. Basically, they have an alpha channel on them already, generated on the movie clips already. So you just basically can drag them right on top of a video clip, and they composite, which is really nice. I'm going to grab the muzzle flash, drag it down, and drop it on top here. Okay, once I put that on top, this comes in pretty big. It's the very first frame, and that's really all I need is the first frame. I'm going to page down one time till it disappears. I'm actually going to create an out point on this so I don't have any more of this clip. I believe that's the only thing that it does is at the beginning, but we only need that portion of the clip, the first frame. I'm going to Option and do my right bracket key to put an out point there. So now it's gone. There's my out point right there. So actually you could just do it on the first frame here. Do Option bracket, and then it just puts a one frame clip here. Basically this thing turning on and off. But I don't want it to show up until he gets the gun up and he's ready to shoot. Right about there maybe. So I'm going to grab this here and drag it to the beginning here so it's going off right there. Now it's obviously too large, so you can just you can go narrow this down, go under transform, and scale this down. Just grab the scale, drag this down until it looks about the right size. Right about there maybe. And just drag this over and put it right on top of the gun there. The one thing I might want to do is brighten up the screen a little bit when he shoots. So I'm going to try that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up to a layer, and this is a pretty quick, simple fix here. We're not going to do shadows or anything too complex. We're just going to do a new solid. I'm going to click on this black here and change this to white. So we're going to make it look like the screen brightens up a little bit when he shoots. So we've got a new solid over the top here, just so it brightens up a bit like that. And I don't want to brighten up the background and everything, so I'm just going to put a quick mask over that as well. I'm just going to grab my pen tool here, and create a Bezier mask over his face. So it kind of lightens up the skin and the face. Kind of draw this shape here. You guys can kind of create a shape that you want, just so it kind of lightens up his body a little bit. Now you'll notice after it cuts that out, lightens up his body a little bit. I'm going to feather that so it looks a little bit more natural. Feather that off a little bit so it looks like it kind of brightens up his face. Pull this extend over into his hair a little bit. However you think would look most natural there. And then I'm going to turn the opacity, get the opacity so it's right. We're going to start this at about, we'll start at 25 and see what that looks like at 25. And that looks good about right there. But now I'm going to do an endpoint there. I'm going to do Option, left bracket, so this flash happens right when the shot goes off. And then I'm going to arrow down like 3 frames, and I'm going to make another. Actually, I'm going to create. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of this clip here. I'm going to turn on my keyframe. So right there it's at 25%. I'm going to page down like 3 frames and then turn this down to 0. So it takes about 3 frames for it to turn down. So now what we've got is this. Let's play back. Shot. Let's look at that without the frame, without the wireframe, the rotoscope on it. And it looks like it needs to be more up here on his face. You can kind of correct that mask, get it exactly where you need to. So I'm going to grab that mask. Just going to kind of shrink this in around his hand. Oops. Deselect the nodes. I'm going to grab a node here and just drag it in and kind of create this little almost circle mask here. So it just kind of fills in some brightness around this area here. And now I'm just going to turn down the opacity on that first. Let's try about right there. Try it out about 19% and see what happens. Once we play, boom, it brightens up a little bit, so we get a little bit of a flash there from the gun. Boom. And it looks like we'd have to cut it out kind of around the gun, but right now that'll do. We're going to, I'm actually going to shorten that flash so it doesn't last so long, maybe just like 2 frames. So it turns the opacity down across 2 frames. So now we got that flash from the gun, makes it look like it brightens up his face a little bit as he shoots. And now we're going to add the wisp in here. I grab the wisp, drag it, drop it in. Drop it on the top layer there. And the wisp starts way back here. So what I'm going to do is get that started right about where the gun shoots. So I'm going to bring that down, start it. Let's try it about 1 frame before. Start playing. So as he shoots, see the smoke wisp come up here? This is already has an alpha channel on it. All I have to do is basically grab that, drag it up to the top of the gun here. And then as he shoots, and we want that a little bit above the gun, about right there. So he shoots, then the wisp comes up. We don't really have to motion track that either. If we really wanted this to look a little bit better, what we could do is start it about right there, the gun shot about right there. Actually, I'm going to air all these 3 layers down. Now I just have to reposition the gun because then his gun's shaking too much and it's hard to tell where the wisp is coming from. So I'm just going to start when his gun's a little more steady, right about there. So I moved all those down. Let's see how that looks. Looks like the wisp needs to start just about another frame down there. And that wisp probably needs to move up just a little bit, so it's not on top of the gun there. Right about there. And there we go. Let's give that a try. Boom. And that's looking pretty good with the sound effect. That would look pretty good there. And we could desaturate if we wanted to make this look a little bit better and blend in. The muzzle flash probably needs to be desaturated a little bit. You could just go to the effect filters and grab saturation, use saturation filter, drag and drop it onto the gunshot, onto the muzzle flash, and grab the master saturation and turn it down a little bit so it's not so yellowish. If that looks a little bit better, and that might look a little bit better there. So save that, go back to Premiere, and the file will have been replaced. Takes a second to update. Once that updates, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next clip and do the bullet getting hit. And this is pretty simple. Going to replace that and replace that with an After Effects composition. It'll put it into the same project here. And I'm just going to make this quick and simple. All you really have to do with this shot is just grab a file here. Really all you need is the wall hit here. Go to After Effects, grab the wall hit, drag it in, import that in. And grab that wall hit. Put that on. We're going to make it hit his chest here. So we're going to pull this over to his chest area. And as that wall hit plays, we're just going to fade it out. So we'll let it go down. We'll go down one frame after it hits and you see it spray. So about right there, and you can judge where you want to start fading this out. I'm going to fade it out over like 3 frames here. And let's see how that turns out. So it looks like he got hit in the chest there. It looks like some dust hitting off his jacket from boom. And we could actually move that down 1 frame if we want to see it after 1 frame, then suddenly it appears. Then boom. There we go. So whatever you prefer. And that's pretty much it.